Steven Koecher was a 30-year-old journalist and devout member of the LDS Church living in St. George, Utah. He was intelligent, kind, and had recently fallen on hard times. His job as a newspaper deliverman wasn't paying enough, and he'd been quietly struggling with rent and direction in life. Despite his situation, friends described him as upbeat, the kind of person who wouldn't give up easily. On December 13, 2009, Steven left his apartment in his white Chevy Cavalier. He told no one exactly where he was going but hinted to his parents that he was looking for work. By late morning, his car was captured on highway cameras heading south toward Nevada. Hours later, he arrived in Henderson, 120 miles away, where surveillance footage caught him calmly parking in a quiet, upscale neighborhood called Anthem. He stepped out, carrying a folder, perhaps resumes, and began walking with purpose. He never returned. When Steven failed to show up for church the next day, his friends grew worried. That wasn't like him. By Tuesday, police found his car exactly where he'd parked it, locked, undisturbed, and filled with his personal belongings. Inside were Christmas gifts he had planned to deliver to family, luggage, clothes, and his phone charger. It looked as if he had planned to return shortly. There were no signs of foul play, no wallet missing, and no fingerprints other than his own. The car had half a tank of gas. Everything about it screamed temporary stop. Police dogs followed his scent from the car to the end of the cul-de-sac. Then nothing. It was as if he had stepped off the edge of the world. As investigators retraced Steven's movements, they found he had taken several unexplained trips in the days leading up to his disappearance, from St. George to Las Vegas, Mesquite, and even back up towards Salt Lake City. He had called several potential employers and stopped at churches along the way, asking about service opportunities. But his route didn't make much sense. He was zigzagging across the desert with no clear goal. Police theorized he might have been delivering resumes or attending church events, but no one he met remembered anything strange. Every stop seemed ordinary. Still, it was unlike Steven to travel without telling anyone. His family grew convinced that something, or someone, in Henderson had drawn him there. The most haunting evidence was the brief surveillance clip from the Anthem neighborhood between 11:54 a.m. to 12 p.m. Steven parked near Savannah Springs Avenue, stepped out of his car, adjusted his shirt, and began walking down the street. He wasn't rushing or acting fearful. He didn't look confused. Detectives canvassed the area, neat lawns, gated houses, quiet roads. Several residents remembered seeing a polite young man, but no one interacted with him directly. No one ever saw him walk back toward his car. That short walk, recorded by a motion-activated camera, was the last confirmed image of Steven Koecher alive. With no trace of him in the neighborhood, search teams turned their eyes to the desert. Helicopters, ATVs, and volunteers combed miles of dry terrain beyond the housing development. But they found nothing. No footprints, no dropped items, no evidence of a struggle. The idea that Steven had simply wandered into the desert and perished didn't match his character. He wasn't known to hike or act impulsively. Another theory suggested he may have met someone, possibly for a job lead or church matter, and that meeting went wrong. Detectives even checked nearby churches, businesses, and known criminal activity in the area, but there was no link to Steven. Every theory felt thin, and the desert wind erased what little hope remained. Investigators accessed Steven's phone and laptop, hoping for clues. His browser history showed job searches and church-related emails. Nothing sinister, no hidden messages. The last cell tower ping from his phone came from Henderson on the day he vanished. It stopped transmitting shortly after noon. There were no bank withdrawals, no credit card activity, and his social security number was never used again. It was as if his entire digital existence had shut off at once. To detectives, that was chilling. Most missing persons eventually leave some trace. Steven left none. Steven's family refused to believe he would walk away from his life. His parents, Rolf and Steven Koecher, drove thousands of miles, putting up posters, talking to news outlets, and retracing his last known movements. They contacted the police weekly, hoping for even the smallest update. Every Christmas since, the unopened gifts from his car became symbols of heartbreak. His family said they couldn't bring themselves to unwrap them, as if opening them meant accepting that Steven wasn't coming home. "We just want to know what happened," his mother said. "Not knowing is the hardest part." Years passed and leads dried up. The FBI briefly reviewed the case but found no federal crime. Local detectives admitted they were no closer to answers than on day one. Some believe Steven may have taken his own life in the desert. Others think he encountered foul play. A few still hold hope he's alive somewhere, living under a new identity. But as time goes on, one haunting truth remains. A responsible, well-liked young man walked into a calm Nevada suburb and vanished without a sound. No struggle, no trace, no ending, just silence echoing through the desert air. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss our deep dives into mysterious cases. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Every perspective matters, and it helps keep these stories alive. And if you'd like to support the channel, give this video a like and share it with others who follow true crime. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.